My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you're here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. As a teenager, in my high school years, I used to spend my spring break like most other people. I would just look for a horizontal position, try not to do much, go to parties, enjoy myself, thinking that that was the best way to rest. Thinking of myself, thinking of my own pleasure, of my enjoyment, of my rest. Until my sophomore year, in which a few friends invited me over to a service project during the break. They didn't explain much what it was going to be like. I was good friends with them, so I kind of said yes after some insistence. I gave up on my horizontal plans or parties and got on the bus for a long drive to our service project. It was very long. We spent like 17 hours driving south. Then we got off the bus and into a boat that took us for 2 more hours to a small island in the middle of nowhere. And there, a small town of people who really didn't have anything. There was a church, a school where we were sleeping on the floor, a few houses, kids, families, no Wi Fi, no cell phone coverage, no stores, no movies, no showers. We had to actually bathe in the ocean, which was really cold. It was really cold. We woke up every day around 6 a.m. We prayed for 30 minutes. We had Mass. Then we worked hard all day. And we prayed a little bit more. And we taught catechism to the kids in that town. A whole week serving others. A whole week spent with our Lord and with those that really love Him. And when I came back to school, they kind of asked me, "What did you do for the break? What did you do on vacation?" I kind of started explaining all these things that we were doing. And the guys would look at me like, "You're nuts, right? You actually chose to drive for that long, to be with no internet, to wake up every day early, to work hard. What about your vacation? Didn't you get any rest?" And it struck me for the first time. And I looked back and I realized that I had had the best vacation of my life. Because for once I had stopped thinking of myself. Because for once I had thought of God and spent my vacation with God and serving the people that God was asking me to serve. Maybe this can help us understand. It helped me understand the words that we read today, the gospel, the short gospel, where Jesus says to the crowds, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves, for my yoke is easy and my burden light." Take my yoke upon you, and you will find rest for yourselves. It sounds like a contradiction. Lord, you are telling us that we need to carry your cross, your yoke. We know how hard that was. We know how much you suffered carrying that cross. And yet, you tell us that by carrying that yoke, we will find rest for ourselves. It sounds like a contradiction, Lord. It sounds impossible to believe, but when we experienced it, like I experienced it for the first time my sophomore year in high school, I realized that these words were true. I had worked hard. I had spent my time praying. I didn't get much sleep, but I was rested. My soul was full of joy. I had spent my vacation doing something worthwhile, close to God, and that had been the best vacation of my life. Because we all have that experience. Friday comes and we feel like finally you can just let go and go back home and do all the things that I've always wanted. And we spend time watching movies and lying down and eating and drinking. And then the Sunday comes and we look back and we feel awful. In our hearts, in our soul, because we wasted time, because we didn't really spend any time with our Lord, and physically, because we just overate, overslept, and just did not do anything worthwhile, and we feel empty. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. Jesus, I want to learn from you. And now that Christmas vacation is coming, maybe it's a good time for each one of us to think, how am I going to spend my vacation? What is this vacation all about in the first place? Christmas. Now we call it holiday season, but we know it's Christmas. It is holiday because Christ was born. And maybe I'm planning my Christmas vacation. I'm planning all the things that I want to do. Is Christ part of our schedule? Is service something that I'm thinking of, taking into consideration? Are those around me people that I think of to serve them? Make no mistake. If you put Christ into your vacation, if in your next holiday destination you make Christ part of it, then you will have the best vacation of your life. Instead of thinking so much on the destination itself, on the cruises you're going to take, on the food you're going to eat, the movies you're going to watch, think, where is Christ during these days? Where is his yoke, his cross? How am I going to carry his cross? That cross can have many shapes: service, friendship, sacrifice, to our family, to people that are most in need, live in generosity. There's so many ways in which we can put Christ and his yoke as part of our vacation, as part of our next holiday destination. Let us think of this. Let us meditate on these words from Jesus Christ. Lord, help us to truly believe that your yoke is easy, that your burden is light. And let us go, of course, as we always do, to Our Lady, the Blessed Virgin Mary. She was happy to carry the yoke of Christ. She was there at the foot of the cross, accompanying Jesus. And yes, she was suffering. Yes, she was having a hard time seeing her son die on the cross, but she was happy, and her soul, deep down, was full of joy, knowing that she was carrying the burden that for her, with the grace of God, was light. Help us, Mother, so that we might carry the yoke of Christ. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.